96.7 KCAL rocks. Here we are on a Thursday. Always one of my favorite parts when we talk some sports with our guy, Pep. What's going on, Pep?
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody out there. Yes, we will take a moment. We will celebrate the NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks. But first things first, man, guys. NFL camps are right around the corner. And if you're a Rams fan, obviously high expectations. This team has a ton of talent. But their starting running back, Cam Akers, has gone down with an Achilles tear. So he is most likely done for the entire season, even a playoff run for the Rams, if they are to make it to the playoffs and put together a Super Bowl run. But the question is now, guys, do you go with one of these, not very used backups that they have on the roster, or do you go out and find a free agent? Because there's guys out there a little long in the tooth, but there's Adrian Peterson, there's old man Frank Gore. I mean, do you bring Todd Gurley, the former Ram, back? What are the options here?
Todd Gurley was the one big name I saw them already considering bringing back was Gurley.
Could you imagine them bringing Todd Gurley back and then he just does well? I could see that happening for some reason.
I would love to see that happen.
Yeah, like he's got a little something to prove now. You're like, hey, you got rid of me? Now I'm going to freaking kick some ass.
Oh, man. I just have a hard time picturing that, but, stranger things have happened. So the Rams probably do need running back help, but will they go out and find one of these free agents who are still available? Maybe, and Gurley's one of those guys. Gurley's just still out there, as we're about a week away from most NFL training camps opening up.
I think some of those better running backs were maybe hoping to get a little further into training camp before they had to go join a team.
Yeah, I think, too, the coaching staff of the Rams does well because, I didn't know who Cam Akers was, and he's a good runner. Maybe they got a little productive runner.
Young, good runner. Big future for Cam Akers.
I kind of think of it. Remember when, the Chargers had Melvin Gordon, but Austin Eckler was the backup, right? We'd heard of the name, but he wasn't really the premier running back. Actually turned out to be pretty good. So I know the Rams have Henderson. They have a couple other of these guys who haven't, played that much, but maybe they can be that number one and be that premier running back. And if the Rams don't think they are, 40, I think you're right. These veteran guys who don't want to go through training camp, maybe they'll wait a couple weeks in or farther into the preseason and be like, okay, I'll sign with you guys. Let's do this.
Oh, yeah.
August heat's done. Time to sign for a team.
Yeah, that's what those veterans do.
Exactly. Hey, speaking of veterans, how about this? Aaron Rodgers, we talked about will he show up for Green Bay Packers training camp. Now there's news that he turned down a massive contract extension with Green Bay that would have made him the highest paid player in the NFL. It would have kept him with the Packers for 5 years total, and he still said no.
Yeah, is he just negotiating hardcore? Because, let's remember, he's part owner of the Bucks. He's a huge part of Wisconsin.
Yeah,
he is, and I think you just kind of showed that. I think Green Bay tried to do the easy, okay, we'll restructure the money, and this money that you're supposed to get over this time, we'll give it to you now and make you happy now, and we'll put a couple extra years on the back. Which, if you're Rodgers, is kind of defeating the purpose. Because I think his whole stance here has kind of been like, look, you guys are not building a team around me. I don't want to be here if you're not going to build a team around me. And what's it say for the Green Bay Packers, their front office, that now they want to extend Aaron Rodgers 2 years after drafting Jordan Love?
Yeah.
So did they mess that pick up? Are they admitting that now?
I think they're finding out that he's not as good. I've heard that they're finding out he's not as good as they thought he was.
You know what? And that puts them in a really, really bad spot because now you have to mend this bridge with Aaron Rodgers. So, we look at Tom Brady, so we're thinking, okay, Aaron Rodgers can still easily play 5 more years and be really, really good, if he takes care of his body like Tom Brady does. So, Green Bay, maybe they're doing damage control now. Maybe they're going to back it up a little bit and, give Aaron what he wants. Because, again, we're on the clock, guys. Training camps start next week. Something's got to happen.
That's making me think he's not going anywhere.
It definitely sends a message when you're like, no, I don't want the extra money thrown my way.
No doubt.
That definitely says a lot.
No, you guys are exactly right. Real quick, too, I wanted to touch on college football real quick because this NIL, the name, image, likeness thing, is really blowing up now because these high-profile college football players are getting these endorsement deals. A lot of them basically on social media, right? You just post something on Instagram or Twitter and they're making money. And our guy, Jaden Daniels, who's a Heisman favorite, starting quarterback at Arizona State, he's doing some... It's like IV hydration something, but all these guys are getting in on it, and all they have to do is tweet.
Nobody's ever heard of, but somehow Nick Saban is the founder of and the funding head of.
There you go. Hey, this could be,
This just kicked into effect, and it's already going down the tubes because all it is it's colleges and coaches funding these companies and then back in just giving these players money straight through.
Hey,
they've already found the loopholes.
Business opportunities, jobs, huh?
But it's funny you bring up Nick Saban because he did bring this up because will this cause some division within some college football programs? Because maybe you're the quarterback of, let's say, Alabama, and you're making $1 million on endorsements, and then you've got a guy who's an offensive lineman who has nothing. You know what I mean? Like the quarterback rolls in this big fancy car, and you're this offensive lineman, and you have no card. You ride your bike to practice, and you have no extra cash. Like, will it cause some division between the haves and the have-nots?
It'll be just like pro quarterbacks. You'll find out the difference between the quarterback and the rest of the team.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You're exactly right. So it's kind of interesting to see how this is going to play out with this new name, image, likeness thing, for college football. Guys, here's our moment to celebrate the Milwaukee Bucks. It happened on Tuesday night. They won 4 in a row against the Phoenix Suns. They are your NBA champions, first time since 1971. So now we're all looking ahead to the next NBA season. If Kawhi comes back, will the Clippers be a championship contender? LeBron and the Lakers are going to retool and try to make this championship run. But I got to say, Milwaukee's got all the pieces in place again. Milwaukee could be a team to, maybe repeat.
They do. It's funny. Vegas has them at like number 3 or number 4. It's very funny, because they know with all the injuries and LeBron and all that stuff is going to come back. But I agree with you, actually, especially if the Greek Freak is going to make his free throws. If he's going to make his free throws, he is going to be very dangerous. He made 17 of 19 of his free throws in that final game. If he does that, he's going to be a nightmare. He's what Shaq could have been. Imagine how many points Shaq could have scored if he would have just made a few more free throws.
I think he will be a nightmare, but unfortunately for a full season and a healthy playoff, Giannis by himself, probably not enough to take down some of the powerful teams. And
No.
The NBA has to be the hardest league to look ahead to the next season for the futures on, because we've seen really 2 to 3 people can shift the whole landscape of the NBA.
Right.
It's insane how much the NBA shifts every season.
It's like Brooklyn and the Lakers are like 1 and 2 to win a championship.
And that's everybody had them playing in it this year. And for the most part, barring injuries, seemed like that's what it was going to be. LA was pretty much number 1 all season, and once Brooklyn was assembled, they were pretty much number 1 from that point.
The Greek Freak's like, I'll take my ring, dude.
Oh, yeah. And that's you look at this season over the history, it's not going to look too crazy that the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo won the finals. Whereas if you would have randomly seen the Phoenix Suns in there, you'd be like, what the hell happened this year?
Yeah. Wow.
And and listen, I'm not downplaying this Bucks championship, but if they were going to win it, this was the year because of all these great teams with their injuries, right, across the board. Brooklyn, the Lakers, the Clippers. If there was a chance for I don't want to say an oddball team to break through and get that title, this was probably the year because of injuries to other teams. And Patrick, you brought up Shaq. Shaq even, I think, tweeted or put something out there saying, hey, there's only one Superman in the NBA now, which was Shaq. But he says it's now Giannis. He is the Superman of the NBA, which is a big deal. He didn't call LeBron that. He didn't call Kevin Durant that. He called Giannis that.
Because he loves that a big man is the star. Of course, he's so selfish.
I like how Shaq steals the Superman thing for himself, and then feels like he can then hand it out at Willie, whenever he wants to hand it out.
Shaq is everywhere. I fear overexposure with him, dude. It's bad.
Hey guys, from the NBA to Olympic basketball, Team USA will play on Sunday for the first time against France at the Tokyo Olympics. The opening ceremonies are tomorrow night, Friday night. But there's already games going on over there in Tokyo. Our women's softball team picked up a big win against Canada 1-0. But our women's soccer team, who's supposed to be really, really good, the favorite, who's supposed to have the inside track to the gold medal, getting beat down by Sweden 3-0. So there's already games going on before the official opening ceremonies. And, of course, we'll keep you up to date as the Olympics unfold in Tokyo.
We'll see what happens. Pep, tell me how to get your stuff.
Yes, sir. Inland Sports all over social media. We got the Inland Sports YouTube channel. Shows, video, highlights, interviews of all your favorite athletes across the IE.
Thanks, Pep.